think today is a great day to talk about domain and range of reading a graph. As you can see, my wonderful artwork right here of my nice diamond right here. And if we want to talk about that, what domain and range is, we want to talk about what the x and y values are. As we can see here, the domain is all the x coordinates that get used, and the range is all the y coordinates that get used. All right, well, let's make sense of this right here. If I look at this point, that point is 0, 5. We know 0 is a part of our domain and 5 is a part of our range. But I'm just going to talk about the domain right here for a second. If I start at 0, I'm getting a little bigger here, right? A little bigger, a little bigger, a little bigger, a little bigger, 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 all the way until I get to 2. Now when I get to 2, I'm going backwards on my x-axis. I'm getting a little smaller, 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 all the way until I get to 0. And when I get to 0, I'm still going a little smaller, 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 all the way until I get to -2. And then when I get to -2, I'm going back to the right. My x values are increasing or getting bigger all the way until I get back up to 0 up here. So the question is, where are all my x values? Now, I don't know about you. There is an infinite amount of points right here. And I'm not going to list them all. It's impossible because it's infinite. However, we can notate that as describing its domain. So I'm going to write this in set notation right here. And it's like, what's the least value for x right here? Well, if I look at it, it's -2. And what's my most value it went through? 2. It was all values in between -2 and 2. Another way to look at this is if we take our pen or pencil and we scan. If I start over here, there's nothing over here. Let's scan, scan. Well, where did I hit first? I hit -2. There's an x value, yup. And as you notice, it was below 2. But that right here, from here to here, was our domain. And as you can still see, it's from -2 to 2 right here. Now, similarly, it's a very tough word to say for me, obviously, we want to talk about the range. And the range will be our y-axis, all of our y coordinates. So, if I look at this right here, I'm going to use the scanning technique as well. I'm going to start down here. Do you see any values below -5? Nope. I'm going to start, oh, okay, right here from -5. Okay, there's y values here, y value, keep going. There's y values I see, y values, and I stop at 5. So I can see my range is from here to there. That's my range. And it's like, okay, well, if I put this way and turned it, I would see that it's from -5, including, to 5, including. That was my uppermost piece right here. So that is my domain and range of this wonderful graph, or this diamond right here. All right, in this example, this graph is actually a graph of an absolute value function, and let's just say this y value it hits is 4 right here. Now, the question is, what's the domain and range of this graph right here? Well, I'm going to find the range first. I don't know why, I just feel like finding the range first. I'm going to use the scanning technique. Now, I could start up here, but I want to give you a better visual of it. If I start down here, do you see any y values? There's nothing down here. I'm going to scan up until I hit. Well, where do I hit first? At 4. Okay, I go to 4, and if I kept going up on the y-axis, that'd be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and so on. So my range is going from where? From 4 to forever, well, what we call forever would be infinity. So I'm including 4 to where? Infinity, and I always use a parenthesis for infinity because it's not an actual number right here. And you can just see that graph, it's going forever up and up and up and up and up. Now for our domain. I know we did the scanning technique from left to right, but it might be a little hard to see, so I'm explaining this in a tiny different way. If I start at 0, okay, my graph, I have like -1, -2, and all the numbers in between, -3, -4, -5, -6, -7, -8, and it just keeps going and going and going Am I always going forever in this direction? Yes, eventually I'm always going to have an x value, so that's from 0 to negative infinity. And if we look over here, this graph is still going forever and ever and ever in this direction. It is going right forever and ever. So it's going to infinity. So that's going from negative infinity to positive infinity, or I like to call it R with a double bar, all real numbers, because there will always be an x value on this graph right here. So that was another example of domain and range reading a graph.